Well, if Nassau is overly expensive, so if you're going to hear the complaints and the pinches, you're going to hear it in this county. You're going to hear it in the 5 boroughs because it's just ridiculous to live. You're starting to hear it in Florida. I remember Florida being the big, hey, I could buy 8,000 square feet for 200,000.
Oh yeah, and
that's not the case anymore.
That wasn't that long ago.
Is over. But people collectively across the country are making more money than they've ever had. And the price of homes on average nationwide, I believe, touched 360,000, and that's a nationwide average. And incomes are growing still. So I can't say I live in a bubble per se, but if there's going to be any pressure, you're going to feel it here because it's expensive to live on Long Island. It is. The average home. The average family. Like if you make $100,000 a year across the country, that's a lot of money. In most of the country, but at Long Island, you might not be able to live out here. 100,000,
no way.
50,000. You certainly can't own a home and raise a family. Pay taxes. You're living check to check. So, I would imagine you would feel it. You would feel the strain here more than most other places. Here in 5 boroughs, Westchester County, it's just expensive to live in this area.
Yeah, you're right. This is a lower, I call it the New York metro area, which includes northern Jersey and southern Connecticut. This is a really, one of the national spots, just like I guess outside San Francisco and I guess some suburbs of Boston and of course Los Angeles and maybe Houston. You got 5 or 6 places that are really abnormal.
Yeah, that nothing has changed. It always has been abnormal. It's more sensationalized now because, obviously social media and all that, and people complain a lot more. But the truth is, New York is still strong. It always will be. Places like Cali, everybody says there's an exodus out of Cali, but that's not true. It's just a shift. There's just a natural shift of people leaving and then people coming in. So Florida also, the whole Florida gig where, hey, you can come down to Florida and your dollar's stretched. That's not true anymore.
It's not true in the places that are, New York or Canadian or New England based, but it is true like it's certain counties up north. It is true, you get around Gainesville and Jacksonville and these kind of places. It's still a lot of old Florida.
Still, Florida's a relatively big state. It's got 21 million people. So, it's still.
Have you ever heard the expression about Florida? There's an expression, the more north you go, the more south you get.
Yeah, because, you become more southerner, I guess.
The southerners are in the north and the northerners are in the south.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
But that, again, like interest rates and mortgage, this is what you're seeing now is just a resetting of the market. You're going to see a breather. And you need this breather. Otherwise, it'll just be impossible. If it continued at this pace, if it continued at the 2021 pace, which was insane. 2020 was crazy and 21 was insane. If you're comparing it to that, if it continued at that pace.
Well, 2020 was from March on was COVID. So there was restrictions to the industry. There were people fear-based, the news media. COVID was 24/7 on TV. And in the large part, even in, I still am amazed. I'm in New York the other day. Where was I? In a function, 0 masks. It was like 2019, not one indication of COVID. Not one indication.
It's as if it doesn't exist anymore, which is crazy. Which is, again, people are out more. So economically, we're strong from an economics point of view. The housing market will take a hit. Housing makes up 33% of the U.S. economy. So people when you see Target, Lowe's, all the money people put into their homes, that's gonna ease up a bit because it was so crazy for 2021, the whole work at home fad thing that's been going on, which I think that's another conversation altogether. People are going back to the office, and it's happening more and more. So it's.
Did you see Elon Musk said everybody's got to be in the office?
Yeah. He's just one of many that are tooting the same horn. What's missing now with these companies is company culture. Some of my best friends I've ever met have been at work. I've been in finance for 27 years, and I still talk to people 27 years later. I still talk to some of the same, people. We became good friends because of company culture. Company culture is important. And what's being lost is this whole work at home. If I can roll out of bed and not talk to a soul but my dog, and work and then log off, where's the culture? Where's the water cooler talk?
Right. And the culture is something that is so important. The companies, I'm with EXP Realty, and that is the cultural center where we've done so much in growth and add so much to the industry and each other. Just the fact that with EXP, I can assist others get to a better place financially. And that's just not been done in real estate. So yes, it's the culture is important. And that makes really the workplace, that makes you a better provider of your services to the consumer.
It makes people want to work there too. When I remember, transitioning from Wells Fargo over to Citizens Bank, and everybody just touted how awesome it was to work at Citizens Bank. Culturally, it was, it's a big bank with a small bank feel, stuff like, and it's great, but when you go into an office and it's just desolate, there's nobody there. It just, it kind of, it just becomes another email address. It's jason.ramirez at, whatever.com, and that's what's missing, and that I believe they're trying, a lot of these companies are trying to bring that back. And I think they will. I really do. When the job market turns, right now, the employee has a lot of power, but when the job market does turn and, you go from 3.6% unemployment, when that tweaks up to 5%, you'll see there'll be more and more and more people coming back to the office. I think it's important. I think it's more important than people actually give it credit, want to give it credit for. So, it's huge. And it also maintains company loyalty, because if you're at a company and you have a good relationships there, you're less likely to leave just because things.
Sure, you feel it's in your best interest. And I think it ultimately benefits the client because the client knows they're well served, and your passion shows through. And people I've seen are, I kind of think the company culture is almost at an all-time high. And I think that's because culture can, in a real estate office or I was at law firms, how long can a meeting be and how many people are into the meeting? Not much. But with all these web-enabled services, you could be checking out stuff about your industry and your company at any time of night. It's just more shots. You have more of an opportunity to learn more about what you're doing and which company you're with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's some of these Zoom meetings. They are beneficial. It does expand the reach. It really does. But I'm old-fashioned. I like the office. I'd rather the office meeting. I'd be more attentive, if it's an office meeting,
Mm-hmm.
you can dialogue back and forth. It's the exchange of ideas is priceless. The exchange of ideas is priceless. It's easier to do it when there's people in front of you. There's accountability there as well. When you're at a Zoom meeting or everything's web-based, the accountability, it's very tough to stay engaged. It really is.
Yeah.
Of course you can do a lot. You can do it at any given time. It does expand the time frame, but it's a give-take relationship. It really is. But I think like anything else, it's price, the having people in front of you, even at appointments when I'm talking to customers, a lot of times some of them just want to text message me, and it's tough for me to do an entire conversation through text message.
Sure. That's what they default to. I wake up and I got 6 texts. Yeah.
I've always been under the opinion that if your text message is, hey, we need to talk, then that's a phone call. A text message should be, hey, I'll be there at 8. Okay, cool. I'll see you there. That's a text message, not an entire.
Well, let me bring in, now you've embarked upon your video blog, which we've heard about, but the Plug Intro platform, it really brings out the fact, I think, that posts are sometimes crazy on social media. Mm-hmm. You have so much information that deserves so much more than a post. It dies at midnight. It's only 2 inches. Your competition sees it, and you don't actually send it to anyone in particular, anyone that you'd like to partner with or share that information. So, I mean, we're at a point where someone like you or any other host or any other member can grab online here. You and I could do it. Anyone can give me 10, 12 minutes, have something that is recorded, have something you could share in 3 months from now. How are you going to share a post from 3 months from now? You're not, right? And how are you going to send a post? I mean, how are you going to control who sees it? You're not. So it's about your control. You have a message. You're basically wasting on a post. I mean, if I'm outside, if I'm sleeping, I'm not seeing the post. So congratulations.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's just I like to give some important facts, add some value, quick. You know, my posts are never overly long. You know, they're very quick and direct and to the point. I've been challenged a few times on stuff that I've said, which is fine. I welcome anybody to come in and just challenge me. It's fine. I'm not, you know, and I don't take offense to it at all. Like, you know, I love it, but you know, and sometimes I'll reshare the post if it makes sense. But you know, I like this platform that we have here because
it's fun. It's going to do great. Okay, so thanks for coming. We got more to do. We're gonna, you post on Facebook, we post here, and we'll between the two of them, you'll have a great outreach. Most importantly, you'll empower your contacts, your agent referral partners to expand their exposure locally. So it's powerful.